Hello and welcome back. On the last episode, we completed Volume 12 with a little teal girl called Torona. She seems to have a knack for getting into trouble because she collects secrets, and basically it sounds like she has dirt on everyone. Luckily, things went good, and we might actually be a good influence on them. And yeah, so with that done, time to start volume 13, really. 13 out of 18, though. That's 13. No, we're not that far away, all things considered. That's, yeah, even though it's like 2 per, options. Oh, I didn't read it. Oh, well, volume 13, whichever one it was. Blah, blah, blah. Friendship, blah. Boldir Lamati or Stelza says yet. Boldir, please. You just aren't feeling it today. You're getting more and more of these grey nights recently. Nights where the call for the streets, that an infinite ramble for companionship, just sounds exhausting and meaningless. You had days like this back on Earth too, when getting out of bed just didn't seem worth it. I think everyone knows that one. The sun is just beginning to slip under the horizon, and usually this would be the sign to rise and shine, or rise and dark. But all you've managed to do so far this evening is to make yourself some coffee. I mean, that's for some people. You recently mentioned to Dagora that you drink instant, and he was so disgusted that he gave you a coffee machine. He claims that it was an old one he didn't use anymore, but it still had the price tag on it. And on the table sits the palm husk Connell had taken off a dead kid, especially for you, and cradle it in your hand. And cradle in your hand is a mug Skylar sent. It looks like she painted it herself. There's a white blob on one side, and you think it's supposed to be lady. You're even wearing the hoodie Malik gave you to cut the evening chill. Here you are, all wrapped up in the warm embraces of your friend's goodwill, safe and sound. But deep inside, you festers something, ignoring existential dissatisfaction, that classic angst that philosophers wrote about. Your palm chimes and you pick it up lazily. What, another rando trying to slide into your DMs? Sorry folks, you just don't have the time for that anymore. You are a friendship connoisseur, a sommelier of the rarest and of amicable vintages. You unlock the screen and find a message. Psst. I'm not certain this line is secure. Actually, I'm positive that it isn't. But I'm risking contact. It is because it is imperative that we speak. I'm sending you rendezvous coordinates. If you wouldn't mind coming any time if the sun is set. Psst. I realize that this is unorthodox, but please believe me when I tell you that it's not a trick or a trap. I have important information regarding your place on Alternia. You attempt to reply to the message, but there isn't a cursor or any way to input a text. In fact, there doesn't appear to be a message app open on your phone. It's just a random text box floating in the void. You barely have a chance to read it all the way through before Advantages on Google Maps opens with an address already programmed in. It's close enough to walk, which is great, because using your stolen Scuttle Buddy still makes you feel a little nervous. You swallow the rest of your coffee and grab your shoes. The GPS leads you to the shop you recognize. It's the cafe from your weird sort of date with Lenora. It's not too crowded at this time of day. The usual studying crowd doesn't appear to be here. A couple of trolls are sitting around sharing pots of tea. Oh, Ken. Fool. Idiot. I explicitly stated I wanted essence of Dayglow, not whatever this garbage is. Oh, you know this person. It really has been a minute, hasn't it? Yeah, we haven't seen our daughter for a while. Our daughter stands in front of you, in front of the counter, shouting at the cash register. Whatever automated system runs this shop has apparently gotten her order wrong. What are you looking at? This is absolutely none of your... Oh, it's you. My daughter swiftly covers up her surprise, examining a perfectly shaped nail. You look Different? Better? Let's not exaggerate. Ooh, how words hurt. I simply meant that you look less like a toxic waste and more like a run of the grain grinder garbage. Okay, cool. You tell our daughter that it's good to see her too. Man, this really takes you back. You'd been so simple back then, so uninvolved. You were lesser focused on the single desire, friendship. Now, well, you still like friends, you really do. But you also have like a car and a sweatshirt with somebody's sign on it. You've moved up in the world. Fascinating. Oh, by the way, is she the one who summoned you here? Summoned? You? You must be joking. I haven't spared a single solitary thought of you since you dragged your wretched carcass out of my hive. Absently, you push your hand into your pocket of your hoodie. Something crinkles between your fingers. And you pull out a folded piece of notebook paper. Okay, this definitely hadn't been here when you left your hive. You passed a couple of people on the street, but you definitely don't remember any of them getting close enough to slip something into your pocket, huh? It only says 2 words. Out back. Well, man, should you go? Well, clearly the friend's out back. Wait, hold on. Why are we in the number 1? There we go. Clearly the friend is out back. So, oh, everything's going wrong now. There we go. So clearly, nowhere. Okay, listen. You've done some pretty dumb stuff since you crash landed here. For instance, following the woman standing in front of you into her basement. But not this time. Nice try, Catfisher. Important correspondence. Nah, you crumble the page up in your hand. Nothing that can wait. And then she starts laughing. Good. Impeccable timing. Just what I was hoping you would say. Friend locked. Cool. The capital I and lowercase i's confused me a bit, but then I realised that was, our daughter's quirk. Anyway. Let's all be real here. If you were ever going to refuse a suspicious invitation, you would have done it by now. You would have drawn the line at the vehicle theft or murder church or anime club. You can't resist a social engagement. Your tragic flaw. Okay, I guess. Enjoy yourself. You head back through the beaded curtain. Half expecting an alarm to ring. How do they keep people from robbing the stores here? Are there like lasers and stuff? You emerge into a tidy little back garden. None of the plants here are the ones you recognize from Earth, but it's still nice. Yeah, I guess some of them are nice based on the background. I'm not a fan of the red ones. They're the yellow dots. You cross the bridge over the slow-flowing stream and find yourself looking down at a path that blooms into a tight, dizzying spiral. Maybe you're supposed to walk across it and ponder your place in the universe. Your contemplation would be inevitably cut off before it hit its climax, because someone is sitting in the center of the spiral. She's a small, compact shape with her hair cut short and choppy around her chin, wearing a shapeless white dress. Really more of a robe. Psst! I've been waiting for you. Thanks for coming. She speaks in a strange whisper, low and full of air, but still loud enough to hear across the path. You pick your way carefully across the spiral, making sure not to mess any of it up, treading only on the inside lane. The girl gives you a small, secretive smile. My name is Boldir. You ask her if this is her garden. Does she live here? It's nice, but it's not exactly out of the elements. Actually, it looks like there's some storm clouds rolling in. You're probably going to get rain soon. Oh, yeah, my Raccoon is over under the tree. She smiles again, and you can't tell if she's messing around. In fact, she's entirely unreadable. Like her face is a totally reflective surface, and all you're seeing is the cloudy sky and the garden. You can't tell how she feels about you at all. Would you like to sit down? Inside the circle, or... She looks around like she's the only to realizing that she's at the center of a complicated geometric pattern. It doesn't matter. I only wanted to see if you would follow the path or trample through it. But you did neither. You forged your own while taking care to preserve that which has come before. You ask her what that means. Maybe nothing. I'm not sure. The wind tosses her hair and the clouds chase each other around the sky. If the rain comes, it will come soon. Boldir continues to look at you Boldir continues to look at you as you shift awkwardly and shiver, pushing your hands into your hoodie. This is different than any other friend meetup you've had, even with the others who purposely sought you out. There is a sincerity to Boldir that all the rest lack. Or maybe that's just there's a zen garden getting to you. You try and remember what Boldir said to you in the message that somehow managed to make appear on your phone, then immediately self-immolate. That she has some information for you about your place in Alternia, or something like that. Did I say that? I guess I did. Sorry, I suppose I wanted the chance to talk to you a bit before the end. I was starting to feel, jealous maybe? Right. You guess everybody has been going on about the funny dumb alien robot who's been prowling the countryside. No, that's not it. Though, I'm sure you're very funny. I just wanted a chance to talk to you. Someone who is so adrift in the swell of fate and the whims of the paradox. Paradox? You don't know anything about paradoxes. Well, you know what they are. You just don't see why they're relevant. They aren't. Paradoxes aren't relevant by their very nature. It's the essence of the nature that makes them so integral to the story. You shake your head. You're not built for this cosmic stuff. You're just an orphan from Earth with quick fingers for spaceships and apparently vehicles. Boldir gives you another sly smile. Oh, quick fingers. You blush. You hadn't meant it in that as a dirty joke or anything. Well, yeah, we didn't think about it that way, did we? Also, your fingers are now nowhere near as quick as hers. She somehow has got a piece of paper in your pocket while you were standing in the cafe, and she was out back here. That's like reverse pickpocketing through astral projection. Boldir laughs. She stands up and moves across the garden path, following the spiral so swiftly and efficiently that she might as well be floating. She drifts over one of the trees, pulling down a coat from where it's slung over the branch. Okay. It covers her from chin to ankle. Why not just say head to toe? Well, I mean, she does have a hat on. Coming together to form an olive green symbol on her chest that looks like a question mark without the dot. A broad-brimmed hat flashes out the ensemble. Well, I can't teach you astral projection, but pickpocketing is quite simple. Would you care to learn? Indeed, ideally, we need a third person to act as a mark, but I think we can just make it work. More crime, huh? Is that going to be? I don't know. Is crime going to be the right choice or the wrong choice? Sure, let's do it. Let's do crime. This all mess started with the theft of a spaceship, and if Boldir is right about all of that horse nonsense, that was supposed to happen. So maybe you'll learn lean into it. Perfect. This is the first and most important aspect of the art of pickpocketing, is staying unobtrusive. You think about mentioning that walking around in a great big coat and floppy hat is not the most unobtrusive thing you've ever seen. But you aren't the expert here. You're also an alien, so you don't really have room to talk. Maybe you should get a big coat like that yourself. You just love ripping looks off of all your friends. Cool. Boldir takes you through the basic of criminals' sleight of hand. And on the whole, you aren't too bad. In fact, you think you might have a future in it if it weren't already in the career path of professional friendshipper. You don't know what this has to do with her learning about you or teaching your place on Alternia, but it's fun and Boldir is a good teacher. There's also one thing this journey has taught you. It's that when something isn't actively painful or destructive, just write it out. You don't think you'll be going around pickpocketing many trolls. Enough of them already want to kill you, but it's good enough to have this skill on reserve if you ever need cash fast and don't feel like hitting up any of your rich friends. You wonder if Boldir uses this for anything besides passing notes. Psst. My sources tell me you've been on Alternia for almost 3 perigrees now. You have no idea how long a perigree is, but whatever. What the hell? Sure. Cool. Impressive. No wonder. She trails off thoughtfully and shakes her head. You wish you would say something with some substance to it, instead of just vague nonsense. But at least she isn't threatening you with violence or trying to stick wires into you. So you're counting this as interaction successful so far. Also, you feel weirdly chilled out with Boldir. Sure, you want to be friends, but there's none of that stomach-churning, spine-bending desperation that makes you to make sure she'll like you at whatever cost. You feel more awake than you have in weeks. Man, you've got to learn to pickpocket in a garden behind a cafe more often if this is what it does to your stress levels. Want to get something to eat? Or just maybe just coffee, because that's what they serve here. Sure, you could use another caffeinated beverage on top of the other caffeinated beverage you had earlier. Why not? You'll sleep when you're dead. If only. You follow her through the garden and back into the cafe. Ah. Who is this now? Yet another friend? Oh, Adara, you're still here. Of course I am, fool. You were back there for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes? Wow, it felt like way longer than that. Guess you underestimate the power of a good training montage. You introduce Adara to Boldir with the cheerful earnestness of someone who has forgotten the systematic classicism of the planet on which they currently reside. Adara stops you with an aristocratic sneer. Stop, before I have to stop you myself. I have absolutely no desire to mix with those so low at the social ladder. What in the world could she have to offer me? You shrug. You're not sure. Maybe friendship? You know, friendship between people of different castes are possible. You've seen them happen. Regardless. Oops. How do I go back? Nope, I'm going forward. Options. Oh no, okay, back left. There we go. There we go. Regardless, you feel bad for exposing your newest friend to the vaguely nonsensical abuse of your oldest. You turn back to Boldir to apologize, and find her gazing coolly at Adara like she could do it all night. There's none of the fear or reverence or false obedience you've seen others loveblood display to blues. Instead, Boldir looks at Adara like she's a bug. Worse, a pebble that she'd just love to kick out of the way. Nice to meet you in person, Miss Comia. I heard your GrubTube channel has been losing subscribers recently. I wonder why that is. Blue bites Adara's cheek in an angry flush. I'm currently on a hiatus. The old garbage was getting tired. I have so many imitators that my own content is starting to seem derivative. She gives one of her maniacal laughs, but it's a little less robust than usual. Man, the wild tundra of the internet fame really is a stark and arid battleground. In fact, I have a new feature. I have a new feature in the works as we speak. She holds up a little vial she'd been haggling with the cash register over earlier. Poison. I think the best and most expedient process would just be to dose my featured guest's food and then hide the antidote somewhere in my hive. Unless you have another idea. She smiles, sly and mean. Boldir smirks back, just as vicious. Great, have fun with that. While Boldir talks, her eyes start flickering from you to our daughter, and then down, again and again, you, our daughter, and down. It takes you a couple of go-rounds before you realise that what she's telling you. She keeps looking down to your hands, which are stuck in your hoodie pocket, exactly where you found the note ball that slipped in to you. Daughter is carrying a bag which looks expensive and extremely goth, and you can see where the vial of poison is sticking out. Oh man, you know what you have to do. When the group comes into the shop and pushes past the three of you, you move in on her daughter and slip a hand into a bag, palming the smooth, cold vial. She gives you a weird look, like, why are you suddenly all up on me, peon? But she doesn't notice the theft. I suppose I'll be going now, and if I were you, I'd be more mindful of who I choose to associate myself with in the future. You say bye to her, feeling the tiniest bit of guilty. But she's planning to use this poison to murder, to do murder theater in the prison basement. So you don't feel that bad. Take care now. Our daughter leaves and Boldir takes the inquisitive step closer. Psst, show me. You open your hand to display the spoils, flushed with criminal euphoria. Oh hell no! You grabbed the wrong vial. This one is blue, not red. You grabbed the antidote, not the poison. God, you honestly thought you were moving past these kinds of mistakes. Oh, damn. Well, at least you have antidote now. You never know when one of those might come in handy. She sways forward and clutches at her neck. For one confused second, you think she's doing an impression of someone who might need an antidote. Then she falls to her knees. You dart forward and catch her. Well, I was expecting things to go wrong, so is this the right ending? Not doing crime is wrong? Okay. This game's not teaching the right messages. You dart forward and catch her before she can totally eat it. She's heavier than she looks. Compact muscle and a code full of ungodly number of weapons. She has like 4 guns in here. What the hell? Your arms are full, and you can only watch helpless as the troll in a hood that covers their face and their horns books it out of here. You shout that someone just stabbed your friend, but nobody is looking at you. It seems it's the same way people on Earth might ignore a mother trying to calm down a toddler, throwing a tantrum. Just turning an eyes away from the distasteful public scene. Ow. Oh damn. Oh, sorry, damn it. You put a hand up to Boldir's neck and try to staunch the bleeding, but there isn't any bleeding. Bewildered, you pull apart the lapels of her coat to see a single drop of olive blood trembling above her collarbone. Discoloration spreads in a dark spill over her neck and radiating down her chest. You both say at the same time. Poison. You open your hand and look at the tiny blue vial. Then back up at Boldir. Her eyes are glassy, and her skin's going blotchy and ashen. There's no reason to believe that Ardada's poison is the poison that the assassin used, or the same, with the same antidote. It already strains the powers of coincidence that you grabbed the antidote at all. You're probably right. But maybe you should try it anyway. I can't feel my legs. Right. Maybe the mere fact that this is such an unlikely happenstance means it will be the right antidote. Everything you've done so far has had the pull of inevitability to it, especially all of your interactions with Boldir. Great. Awesome. I'm glad you're realizing the inherent significance to this particular microcosm of causation. Now, can you please pour that stuff in my mouth so I can swallow it and possibly not die? You help Boldir tip her head back and put the vial to her lips. At the last moment, you wonder if it's supposed to be diluted, but Boldir gulps it down, gulps the whole thing down and immediately begins to shake. She's turned into a dragon. Smoke billows out of her nostrils and open mouth, and holy crap, what's going on? This doesn't seem like any type of antidote to you. But then the smoke clears and Boldir opens her eyes, her big yellow eyes. How does she feel? Alive. Marginally. She lets you help her to the feet, and you immediately pull her to a fierce yet gentle hug. It's wild to undergo someone else's near-death experience. You feel like you know her way better than one montage scene's worth. Another new friend. Ooh, not so tight. You ease up a little. All the tea sippers are staring at you now. Death apparently isn't interesting, but the possibility of some quadrant adjacent stuff, that's suddenly all about that. Sorry, people. Just you and your new friend, sharing a touching post-near-fatal encounter. Nothing to see here. Didn't die. What is that face? I apologize, Boldir. She also got a baby tooth. So then, what happens if we don't do the crime? No crime, please. You've already got a hell of a rap sheet. Maybe it wouldn't be the best to add any new skills that could lead you into temptation. Fair enough. Would you care to go for a stroll? It's a nice night. It's a windy, unsettled night, and it looks like a rain. You suppose it's nice, depending on your definition. You absolutely love to take a stroll. That's your whole vibe. Recently, strolling. You follow her out through the little back gate into the street. You leave the cafe behind and are quickly consumed by the drift of the midnight crowd. You brace for the inevitable pitying, hostile looks that you get whenever you go out in public. You should have mentioned that you try to avoid large groups, but strangely no one even glances at you. It's like Boldir exudes a sneaky aura that encompasses both of you. As you walk, you ask her if she really believes in fate. Like, the two of you were always going to meet and nothing could have happened any differently no matter what you did. Boldir gives you a thoughtful, sidelong glance. Well, that would imply that none of our choices matter, and that causality is inevitable. That randomness is irrelevant. Right. Sure, you scamper to keep up with her, both physically and mentally. For someone who asks you to take a stroll, she sure is booking it down the street. But that disregards our choices. Fate dictates that all possibilities are, and their very nature, necessities. Or rather, the choice you made was the only one you ever could make. I doubt the universe is that simple. It doesn't sound simple to you, but you hum and nod sagely because you want Boldir to think you're deep. Instead of asking yourself whether you were meant to meet me or not, and meant to be here, It makes more sense to wonder what the forces that have conspired to bring it into being. Well, that would be exhaustion and ineptitude. You don't exactly remember what happened, but you're sure it involved something stupid like falling asleep at the wheel and drifting off into another solar system. It had been a rough 48 hours, you know? A lot of escaping and running and punching and stealing of high-powered vehicles. Oh yes, of course. I understand. All in day's work. She stops you at the most intersections as she can to take. She can take the serendipitous glance around the corner. That's the best one I'm gonna get. Not gonna try it again. Before gesturing to you to follow, every so often she'll turn back to the two of you. She'll turn and the two of you around to double back. You aren't exactly sure why. Maybe she thinks you're being followed. But who would follow you from the cafe? All sorts. But don't worry, I know how to shake off a tail. You cross one of the main thoroughfares. The main thoroughfares of a big blackbird swoops at your head. You yelp and duck, but when you look around, you see that the bird has landed on Boldir's arm and she's stroking its back. Sorry. You brace yourself for it to start talking or something like that. But it's what your life is like now. But it just sticks out its leg for Boldir to remove a scrap of paper. It waits patiently for her to read the message and then scribble something on the back before attaching it to the crow and throwing it into the air. Man, that's some Harry Potter stuff. One of my informants wants to rendezvous in meat space. Unusual, but it has been an unusual day. Unusual couple of months, honestly. Yes, of course. You've had it much harder than I have. What was I thinking? Well, you weren't trying to get into a contest of whose life sucks more, but yeah, it's been rough. You appreciate that she can see that. Of all the planets to be forced to, Alternia as well. Not ideal. Not the worst, but you still have my sympathies. Is there anything at all you'd like about it? What, about Alternia? Well, you're kind of digging this whole night as a day thing. From your diurnal, sorry. From your diurnal species, but you've always been a bit of a night owl. Also, not to brag, but you made some seriously cool friends. Yes, I've been following your exploits. Your friendship acquisition procedures are quite impressive. Ah, now you're blushing. You ask Walter how she knows that much about your exploits, but it's only pretty recent that you've had any sort of real social media presence. You suppose she could have a Google alert like Malik did, but quick, around here. Boldir leads you into a deserted lot between two buildings. There's nothing here except broken bottles and piles of old rubber tires. She leaves you behind the tire pile to keep a watch. Although she probably is just doing it to get you out of the way, which fair. Then she heads into the center of the lot, presumably to wait for her contact. You sit there twiddling your thumbs, trying to suppress the desire to pull out your phone. That doesn't seem very covert ops. You're just starting to get really antsy, jittering in your leg and cracking your knuckles, and digging a little hole of dirt with a stick. When you hear something strange beneath the wind, a swish followed by a thunk. Oh, that's how this is about to end. Because this time we didn't pickpocket the antidote. Boldir jerks and clutches her neck. You writhe up from your rubber pile, sending tires flying. You look wildly up at the surrounding buildings, trying to find out where the projectile came from. But you didn't see it. But you don't see anyone, not even a lone gunman. You run to your new friend, not spending a thought of your own safety. The clouds move overhead like someone put them on a fast forward. The wind rattling and the trash on the pavement. Okay. By the time you reach Boldir, she has begun twitching in hard spasms. One look at the blotchy strain spreading across her neck, and there's no doubt. You both say at the same time, poison. Yep, poison. You fall to your knees beside her. Oh God, what are you supposed to do? You don't know anything about poison or first aid or anything else useful. God, why are you such a waste of space? You could have been gaining some life skills instead of you just loafing around like a complete idiot. You... Stop. Don't. There isn't time. This stuff acts fast. Boldir takes hard, gasping breaths between each word. Her eyes are going cloudy. She makes a desperate grab for your hands. Listen. For the first time, her voice raises above a whisper. Her grip is surprisingly strong. You tell her to save her strength, but she shakes her head and so hard that her hat falls off. I'm not important. You tell her to stop being dramatic. Of course she's important. I'm not being dramatic. Well, maybe a little because I'm dying. But still, remember what I said about fate. Forget fate. You don't want anything to do with it if this is the kind of stuff it's going to pull on you. So many of your friends have died because of you, because of your incredible inability to. The world twists and stutters. Your guts are a record of that record is skipping. For a moment, you're sure that whoever that poison shooting person is has shot you too. But then your vision clears and you feel the rain on your back of your neck. The world rolling back back to you in waves of color and sound. A dark sky splits open on the fault line of lightning. Boldir's hand goes limp in your own. With shaking fingers, you reach out and touch a motionless cheek. Crap. Not again. Why? An uncontrollable wave of despair washes over you as you look down at the corpse of this girl you barely know. You were all of these. Where were all of these feelings coming from? There's honestly too many of them. Why are they? Oh, okay. Again. Oh, again. Why is it continuing? Why? Honestly. Must I do everything myself? Okay, what was that? Okay, so the right option was to do crime, the wrong option was to, Okay, that's opening up questions. Because this was just supposed to be a Friendsim, but now there's apparently a story to this. Okay. With that, thank you for stopping by. Volume 13 is opening a lot of stuff, so hopefully for the end of Volume 13 and onwards, up to Volume 18, I believe, I hope to see you there. Goodbye.